Welcome back, everyone. In this module, I want to talk about the benefits of a beta test and why you, I believe, need to pre sell your course to have really good results. There's so many ways to launch a course. So, obviously, take this with a grain of salt. This is my opinion. This is lessons learned from what I've done with how I have launched a course. There's tons of people out there who have had success not pre selling their course, but this is the way I believe you could have more success, especially if you're new to online course creation or new to building your business and maybe you don't have an audience that's already begging for your course. So, let's get into why I believe you should build a beta test and some of my history with launching online courses. So, first of all, what is pre selling and what is a beta test? So, you've probably heard of like product testing when they do a beta test. It's the concept that will test your course in the market, just like you're testing a product if you were a software developer or have an actual physical product. So, it's basically a trial to see how is it going, like are there any bugs you need to fix, is there anything you need to improve before a general market release. So if you will pre-sell your course, you're doing it to see if there's interest in the market for your course and to see if you're selling it correctly, if you're coming up with the right reasons to join the course. And those who join a beta test, those who join as your founding members, typically get your course at a lower price. So obviously, they're joining a course that may or may not be fully complete, fully vetted. There may be some technical issues, right? Because you're still working on it. And in exchange for that, they will get, usually I recommend 50% off the course price. So there's benefit to them for joining, and not everyone likes the idea of joining a beta test, but typically there are people out there who like to get in on that founding member price, and in exchange you will get like a testimonial or feedback from these students to make sure your course is on the right path and right direction. So we'll talk more about that in a minute. And doing a pre-sell or doing a beta test really protects you from wasting your time creating a course that no one wants or no one is willing to pay for. So when people buy your beta test course and people are signing up, you know that there's a market for it and that you are validating your course concept. So that's the whole reason people do this, is so that you are making sure you are not putting in 6 months to a year to 2 years of work creating an online course that nobody wants, because that's a waste, right? So you want to make sure there is validation in the market, maybe the title, the course content. This is what people truly want to buy. And so if people are coming off and signing up for your beta test, it is a good chance that when you go full launch, people are going to buy that as well. And so, I know the next question is going to be, but Emily, what if I can't get anyone to buy my pre sale, right? If nobody's signing up? Well, I want to throw that back to you to say, well, wouldn't you rather know now that nobody's buying than after creating 6 months to 2 years of content and wasting all of that time? There must be a reason people are not buying. Have you not, do you have the not the right messaging yet? Do you have the right concept for a course, but maybe it's just a little off? Maybe the title is off. Maybe your marketing, or maybe you have to grow a little bit of an audience before people buy or talk about your course a little bit more. I would rather know that up front than putting tons of hours of recording content and not fully hitting the mark. And then when you go to launch, you'd get crickets, right? So if no one's buying your pre-sale, then it's kind of like, okay, why is no one buying? It saves you some time. And yes, it's it's like, oh my gosh, no one's buying. But I would rather know that now than down the road. So it really prevents you from wasting your time. And I can share with you what can happen when you don't pre sell your course, just to give you an idea, because I know it's a totally scary concept. Like, What do you mean? I don't even have content created and I don't even have a perfect course yet. How am I going to put that in the market? Well, I want to show you what can happen if you do not pre-sell your course or do a beta test. So, my general story is that I knew I wanted to be a course creator, but I dragged my feet on course creation in 2016. I just literally couldn't take action. It was rooted in fear. I had no confidence. I knew I wanted a course, but I had no idea where to start. And I had this perfectionism, imposter syndrome thing going on where I was like, well, I want my course to be perfect before I launch. So I started to take action, started to record my videos, and I didn't really even honestly talk to an ideal client about my course at all. I just created what I thought people wanted. And it took me about 2 years to complete it. And I did this all in private. I never announced to anyone. I never took sales. I never put up a waiting list. And when I launched it, I basically had zero confidence. I felt awkward promoting it. I had no clear outline and I barely got any interest. And the difference is that I didn't validate my idea. I didn't go to people and say, this is what I'm offering. Is this something you would want? And no one bought. And so I created an outline that was going off on so many different tangents because I had no structure. I had no one to bounce ideas off of, right? So I had no potential students that were beta students that were in the course that I could ask questions. And so it really bothered me because I technically took all the right steps, right? I did the videos, I did a sales page, I did the email launch, I did the warm up, I did all these things, and I had nothing to show for it. I didn't make any sales after putting all this work into my online course. And it really bothered me. And I took a really hard look at why I was not successful. And I finally came to the conclusion that it's because I did not do a beta test. And I kept everything in secret. I wanted it to be perfect. And so, because of that, I held myself back and never talked about it. And what I want to encourage you to do is to get out there and launch your course before it's finished, before it's ready, before you really know what you're doing, because that process is going to give you a better course in the end. So here's where I went wrong. I didn't make any money until I launched, and obviously then it was crickets. So we want you to get paid to create, right? We don't want you to wait 2 years to get paid. So I had no testimonials or way to check if my content is what my students needed. I created things that I thought people wanted. And I never really had any beta students to say, hey, how would you feel if I created a module on this? Is that too much? Is that too little? Like, how do you feel about this? Right. I definitely I was overthinking everything, which led to inaction because I had no one holding me accountable, right? I had no one waiting for content. I had no one asking for content. And it just stalled my entire process. That's why it took 2 years. I was also obsessing over the size of my first launch because you really hear all these success stories of people launching and making 5K, 10K, 15K. And that's awesome that their first launch was that big. But I'm more interested in creating a long-term successful course. And just because you make 15K on a first course doesn't mean that you're going to get raving testimonials because maybe you didn't validate your course topic. So I would rather have a smaller first launch, take some beta testers, get into the process, learn from your students, like what to create, what to improve in your course, get the testimonials, and create a better course in the long run. And I believe you'll make more money over the time frame of your course, if you kind of ease into it. I also was scared to talk about my course until it was done. I had such a fear of looking dumb that I held myself back. And honestly, if you just embrace looking dumb and say, I'm new to course creation, I'm launching this beta test, I would love for you to come along with me on this journey. And I'm looking for beta students to test my course, to basically break the course. I want to know where the imperfections are. I want to know where there are typos, where are links broken. I want to know these things so I can have a better course in the long run. And so I realize all of this sounds terrifying because of the thought of why it's kind of feels backwards, right? Why would I launch something that I know isn't good? But I believe it's just the process that you have to go through to make sure you have something good in the market down the road. I mean, this is why this concept is not new just to course creation. This is new for software developers and people who create products. They create beta tests, they create beta products to see what the market thinks. Is this something you would want to buy? So we have to get over that fear that it's terrifying. So here's some more benefits of pre-selling. So number one, this is where you're going to gather that social proof that your course is awesome. So you're going to be gathering testimonials from your beta students, which will help you in your sales process when you go to launch to the general public. And this is what's amazing is because you actually have real testimonials that are going to say, this course is awesome, you should buy it. And you're going to be able to put that on your sales page and in your email marketing when you go to fully launch, because your beta students, you've given them so much of you and your course when you're creating it. And it's going to actually give you some great social proof for others. Number two, it's going to help you build your confidence. As I mentioned, when you see your students getting results, when you see them asking questions about the course material, you're going to feel more confident launching at that full price. I think a lot of times people don't make sales right away if they don't do this process because they don't have that confidence in their pricing. If you get some students in your course, maybe at a lower price, yeah, you're not going to make as much money out of the gate, but you're going to over deliver on a lower price point. And so when you go full launch with your higher price point, full price of your online course, you're just going to feel so much better and so much more confident when you're talking to potential students and in your marketing, that you're not going to hold yourself back. You're going to want to shout about your online course from the rooftops. And that confidence and that excitement is what sells your course. If you're not excited about your course, you're not going to make sales. You know, people can see that excitement in somebody when they're so excited. So I think a beta test really helps you kind of build that confidence in yourself, in your pricing, in your tech, in your course, all of that. Number three, you're also going to get to know your client on a really deep level. So you're going to hopefully be building content with them while they're in the course. So when your beta students get stuck, when they have questions, you're going to say, oh my God, I never thought to create a module on XYZ topic. I'm going to put that in there. And then next thing, when you go into the full launch, you're going to say, here's the course curriculum. And there's going to be modules in there that maybe you weren't expecting to put in there. You know, when you create your outline, there's going to be things that you're going to probably forget until you have actual students in the course. So this is going to improve your method. It's going to improve your content, and you're going to deliver the content that your students are actually looking for. Number four, it's going to help you build momentum. So as you're uploading modules, every time you post and upload, like create a module or a lesson, I want you to post about it to your Instagram or let people know, I just created this module, and you're going to talk about your course. It's going to naturally feel exciting because you're going to show the behind the scenes of your course creation. And that's going to naturally help sell your course to more beta students or when you go to your full launch. And I think this behind the scenes is a really easy sell. Like, it doesn't feel like you're selling. I know a lot of you are terrified of the selling process of your course. And when you're like so excited that you just created a module for your students, your beta students, you're going to post about it. You're going to talk about it. And people are going to go, oh my God, I want that module. Oh my God, she's making a course on this, or he's making a course on this. I want this content. And so it will build excitement over time. And I think it gets you excited about the process. And then number five, it's going to hold you accountable. When you have people to deliver the content to, waiting for your content, you're more likely to keep working on your course. Course creation is no easy feat. There is a lot that goes into this. It takes a lot to create modules, to put the content together, to record it, maybe to edit it, all these things, to upload it into your course. And if you don't have people to deliver it to, you're going to take longer pauses, and your course creation is, you're going to get burnout and kind of be like, I'm kind of done with this. Maybe I'll take a week or two off. When you have people waiting for it, you're like, I got to get this done. So you make the time and you get it done. And I mean, I think this is the number one reason, but as I mentioned, you make money before you even start. This is actually getting you paid before you're even creating content. So I know it sounds wonderful to wait and make whatever, but I know you have bills to pay. I know you maybe are trying to quit your job. Maybe you're trying to do a side hustle. Maybe you want to start paying down debt. Whatever it is, you have big goals for your business. And whether you're just starting in business or you're looking to transition away from one-on-ones, you need money coming in. And if you take 50% of a lower price with a beta student, you need that money coming in right away. So you can't be waiting 1 year to 2 years to wait to launch your course. We need to start to get the money coming in. And we'll talk about more about this in the pricing module, but I like to do, as you see, like a beta test here. You kind of start lower, and then you get round 1 beta students coming in, round 2 beta students, and then maybe you launch a full price, and then you raise your price again. So every time you raise your price, even if you start lower, you can get more students in, like, hey, everybody, I am raising the price in the next 2 weeks. So if you want to get in on this lower beta test round 2, you better get in now. And every time you raise your price, it's going to get more and more people interested. So that's just another thing. Like, to me, I like the momentum of starting lower in your pricing, building your confidence to the point where then you can launch full price. So I hope that really makes sense, and come in the Facebook group if you have questions on that, but we'll get more into that when we talk about pricing. And then another benefit, I believe, and this is for people who are seriously those perfectionists, those people who are overthinkers, if you lack confidence in yourself launching your course, it's going to take the pressure off. It takes the pressure off from you being perfect, because you're announcing to these people, hey, I'm launching a beta course. I know it's imperfect. There's going to be things wrong with it. You know, when someone signs up for your course, I want you to have terms and conditions, which we'll talk about, that are going to say, this is a beta course. This is not perfect. And in agreement, you are going to get half off this price. It just takes a little bit of the pressure off to have a product that needs to be perfect out of the gate, because no product is perfect out of the gate. You need multiple iterations of a course to create something that's really amazing. And it's going to take the pressure off, because you're then a team with your audience. It kind of brings them into the process. You're not just talking and sending them something, you're engaging them in the process. And when you engage with them to create your content, then you're going to create better content, but you're also going to build better relationships. And if you can get a group of founding members for your course that really, really love you, love your content, they're going to then spread the word when you start to go into your full launch. They're going to tag you on Instagram. They're going to tell their friends. They're going to say, oh my God, you have to sign up for this course. This was so wonderful. And I want you to put your all into the beta test, right? I want you to maybe create a course community or something where you can communicate with these beta students and encourage them along the way. Treat them like VIPs, because these people are going to be the people who could talk really highly about your course for life, right? And then it also takes the pressure off, because it gives you a chance to really learn your messaging and your marketing techniques and improve your sales page. Like, your first iteration of your sales page probably won't be that great. Your first messaging, and you're going to fumble over your words, maybe, especially if you're new to this. You may not know how to sell your course, but over time, you're going to get more practice after talking with your beta students. They're like practice students, right? So you're going to learn more about how to sell your course down the road. It just takes the pressure off. And even more benefits. So, beta testing can also help with perfecting your signature method. So, we're going to talk about in the course about how to come up with a method in your outline, but out of the gate, you may not have a perfect method, especially if you haven't been taking one-on-one clients. Maybe you're not sure like the order things should go. This is going to really help you kind of work with your students to say, how's the flow of the course? Should it go here? Should it go here? Do you like the modules as they are? You're going to get some feedback from your students. You're also going to make sure it's the best pricing. You could then send out a survey at the end and say, did you find this was a value? How did you think the pricing was? A lot of times they'll say, oh my gosh, this was such a deal. I think you can go higher. You're going to obviously make sure the tech works, the links work. They're going to let you know if something isn't working correctly. You can ask them about your course title. Is it clear? Would you have bought the course at this title? How is the flow of the course? How is the length of the course? One thing I learned from my beta test is that my modules were too long. So I've really had to cut them back and go more succinct. And that was really helpful before I created the rest of my content. It can also help with getting feedback on your content and outline, of course, coming up with frequently asked questions. So, as you're talking with your students, they may be asking similar questions, and you can put that on your sales page or make sure you're addressing that in your content. You can find missing thoughts or content or tangents. I know I had one student who built a course and her students kept asking her, are you going to build a module on XYZ topic? And she ended up doing that. And then when she went full launch, she obviously had a better course created and more of a selling point because she included an extra module that she had never even thought of. So that was pretty cool. You can use that time to build a workbook or worksheet ideas. Like sometimes when your beta students may say, well, this was really great content, but I would love like a PDF download to take this with me or to have on my laptop or something. Like this was great, but I don't want to always watch the video. I would love a succinct version. And I had a lot of those questions, which was cool. Beta tester can obviously spread the word about your course, as I just mentioned. So many benefits. And I hope this is painting the picture on how you can really have a better quality course in the long run. Because I really believe that you create your best marketing, your best sales messaging, and course content after you have students in the course, which feels so backwards, right? But it makes sense. I mean, if you've got people working with you, watching your content, you're going to know pretty quickly. And you kind of have to put your ego aside and treat it like a practice round to take the pressure off. Don't, if someone gives you good critique, don't take that personally. This is what this is for. This is what the beta test is for. I want you to encourage them to break your course. I want them to give you honest feedback so you know how to fix the problems right away. And then you fix all those things and you create better content. You're going to feel so confident when you go at your full launch. So, overall, how are you going to make more sales with a beta test? This is my belief, as I mentioned, how in the long run, this is going to improve your sales over time. So the upfront collaboration that you spend with those beta students, you're going to spend more time creating the content, collaborating with your ideal client, and researching your ideal client, which is then going to lead to better content. Better content leads to better client transformations, right? So the better your content is in the course, they're going to get better results. If you've got better results, you're going to get even more client testimonials saying, oh my gosh, you must buy this course. That's going to improve your confidence. And then you're going to have more confidence selling your course because you've got testimonials to back you up, which means more enrollments, which means more money, which means you can eventually help more people. So I just think the goal is to have the best course content you can have. And how do you do that? You can't build it on your own. You need the help of your beta testers. So, upcoming, we're going to talk more about course platforms, how to pick which one you'll use. Later, we'll talk about how to actually pre sell your course and set up the beta test, like step by step by step. Because I know you get the concept probably now, but it's like, okay, well, what do I have to do differently than another course launch, right? So, I'm going to go through that step by step by step. And I really hope this is helpful to kind of switch your mindset to see how you're going to do this and how you can build your confidence. And it feels backwards, I know, but trust me on this. You're going to really appreciate the relationships that you're going to build with your beta students and the initial money coming in right away before you've even created content. Okay. So we'll get into more about this later, but I just wanted to give you an introduction to pre selling. All right. Talk to you later.